Hello, 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 everyone. How are you doing? Thank you guys so much for joining us once again here at the Brothers Like Us radio show on Living Out Loud Radio TV. I promise you we will not be long today. I see my boys is already joining in. Randy, what's going on, baby? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, bro. Wonderful, 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 man. Just coming on. Thank you guys again for joining us and supporting us. And we love having these vibrant conversations every week. So Randy, I just promised them we will not be really long today. I'm super tired. I got a lot of work to do, but I wanted to make sure I didn't miss the show today. You know, your voice is always ringing in my head whenever whenever something comes up. I can hear Randy saying, "Man, what are you canceling for, man? Come on, man, let's go, let's get the show going." So I want to make sure we are on point today. I don't know if you saw any of my posts or anything, but I wanted to discuss this in-person mandate that the mayor put in place for city workers. And, everybody has to come back. I think it's 100%. They're supposed to come back into the office and so forth. I know you've been back to work for a while. You've been in person for a while. Are you considered an essential worker?
Yeah, it's sort of, yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah. So you had to go back. Yes, okay, cool. I know we've already discussed this. You've been vaccinated and all of that stuff. But my question that I shared on Facebook was I wanted someone, and I was hoping to get someone respond that's in some type of a leadership position to give the rationale for mandating that your employees come back into the office. Specifically, if during the pandemic they've been able to handle their workload, they've been able to complete all their tasks and so forth, why would you mandate them back into the office? Because the Delta variant, the virus is still out there. It's still affecting people, and actually, is even affecting people that has gotten the vaccine. So it's still dangerous, right? It may not be as dangerous as it was. I mean, we saw people passing away like crazy at the height of the pandemic, but it may not be as dangerous or considered as dangerous, but I believe it's still dangerous. And I just wanted to get some feedback on why would leadership why would they mandate that people come back into the office? I don't know if you have feelings on this at all, man. What your thoughts are around this.
Well, I think that this is one of the reasons of trying to get them vaccinated.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the main reasons, is try to get people vaccinated, because people still don't want to get vaccinated.
Right.
So
right.
You could kind of like see, or the handwriting was on the wall, because they was going to eventually make this a mandate across the board. Whether if you want to travel, if you want to go out of town, if you want to go certain places, they're looking to make people get vaccinated,
right,
and wear the mask. And for whatever reason, people don't want to get vaccinated. And then some people just don't. Oh, you don't want to get vaccinated, but some people just don't want to put on a mask.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's you have all these different buildings, and you got a lot of things that's going on and stuff like that. And even though they're able to still do certain things, they want to get people back into, to try to get some normality, back to where it was. And people still fighting it, so now they're like, you know what? So we're going to start mandating this. So you have now the teachers union, they saying that they ain't, they're not going for it.
Right. Right. Yep.
So a lot of things is that they're doing, they trying to kind of like force the hand. Like, so the mayor I was talking with Rachel, and she would say that, he'd been quiet for a while. But now he's like going for the juggler.
Right.
for his last 4 months in
Yeah.
office,
Yeah.
basically. So he's like going for the juggler that he wants everybody. If you don't come in, it's interesting because some people, it's like saying, well, you know what, they are so uh, 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 they are so true to their conviction that they just leaving their job.
Right. I'll just quit.
I
I'll just
just
go
quit.
do
I'm not
something else.
going back.
Yes.
I'm not getting the vaccine,
Right.
and that's it. So if I have to lose my job, they walk away from their job,
Right.
because
Right.
that's just their conviction. For whatever reason, they don't want to get the vaccine. But so in order for him to do what he got to do, I understand it.
Uh-huh.
And I wish that people would go on to get vaccinated.
Right.
And I would but people just fighting just to be fighting, man.
Yeah. Listen, we
And
fight
sometimes
everything, bro. We
it,
fight
it just
everything.
don't make any sense. It's
Yes. 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 So listen, I get uncomfortable with anything that has mandate attached to it, right? So this is just me. You know how I feel about the vaccine. I got vaccinated a while ago, right? Should someone force me to get the vaccine, even though I know that it is for our protection, I know it's for our protection. Should someone force me to get the vaccine? I don't think so, because people have real legitimate concerns, especially in our community. We have legitimate concerns and fears of government and healthcare. But listen, I know to many of us that may not feel that way, it seems ridiculous, almost like conspiracy theorists, right? But that does not take away the fact that to that person, that fear is real. You know what I mean? So
but
that's how
it is. But man, look, man, I have never seen anything like this virus in my lifetime.
Right. Uh-huh.
I have. Going to the store. Okay, I have never seen anything like this in my lifetime.
Right.
I know they had all different type of viruses and all different type of stuff, and people talk about it and all that kind of stuff. I was too young to even remember it, or I wasn't around to know it.
Right.
But the funny thing is, now they have this thing where the kids got to get a flu shot.
Right.
Everybody got to get a flu shot.
Right.
So you didn't hear nobody crying about that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's still a mandate.
Right. Absolutely.
So if you join the armed forces, and everybody been in the armed forces, those that been in the armed forces, I didn't go, but those that was in the armed forces,
right,
you take a bunch of shots.
Absolutely.
You don't know that's the mandate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have all these different things that's going on. I was talking with this one guy, and he was saying that people were saying, people die from the flu and this and that and all this. A lot of people die from the flu. So he said, put it very simple. He said, look, how many people do you know die from the flu? He said, don't lie.
Right.
Don't lie. How many people do you know died from the flu? You. I don't know anybody that died from it.
No, me either.
Right?
Right.
But how many people do you know that died from this virus?
And we all know a bunch of people
or heard somebody that died from the virus.
Right.
So that just goes to show you that this thing is real. This is it's not no joke. It's not nothing like that. It's very, very real. And to me, I'm a person that I don't like taking orders.
Hate it.
So when I was going in the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
I was young. I just said, listen, man, I just couldn't get things together, stuff like that. So I went down to the recruiting office and I signed up, stuff like that. But my paperwork wasn't right because something had to do with my ex-wife and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
So they put me on the back burner, right, while they work it out. So I was telling Pastor Brown was the pastor at the time, and he was like telling people not. And so one of my cousins was in the Marines, and I was going in the Marines because I want to get the uniform. I love they dress blue. I like the uniform.
Okay.
So I was drunk going in, but he said, "Listen, Randy, you don't want to go in. You don't want to go in there." I mean, he said because when you it's about the orders,
right.
you know.
Right.
Doing orders. They telling you to do this, doing that, do this, and it's not like you can't say no. I'm not doing that.
Right. No, you can't say no. You do it when they say do it.
You get martial, you get put in jail, whatever the case might be.
Right.
Unless they just kick you out this honorable discharge. Right.
Right.
So when it was time for me to go in, they finally called me the great news. I said never mind, like that.
Well, you had signed up and everything already, right?
I had signed up, but I didn't raise my right hand. See, when you go in the armed forces and you raise your right hand,
you in.
You in. There ain't no backing out. They got you. It ain't about the paperwork. You can sign 100 papers, but if you raise that right hand, and there was a class that was going in, and so the guy said, I had took the physical, I did everything. And the guy said, well, there's a class going in now. You want to go in there and be sworn in? And I'm like, nah, I'll wait.
Good thing you waited.
And so after a while, I'm thinking about it. And he said, so when he called me, I said, listen, I'm not going. He was mad, boy.
Wow.
I mean, he cursed me out, all this kind of stuff. I just politely hung up on him. But that's what it is. I mean, so, it's no, whether you like the word mandate or not, when you really think about it, there's always mandates.
There are definitely, listen, I know, Randy, I know, I do.
There is. I mean, there's no,
I know.
It's just a rule. It's what it is. And like I said, they have to do something to try to get people to become vaccinated. So they making it hard. They're making it hard. If you go take a cruise, you ain't vaccinated right in the route. If you're not vaccinated, you like almost in a whole different section. You don't get to do what everybody else do.
Right.
So, as far as traveling, so it's going to get, I think it's going to get even worse, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. So let me really quickly, because you touched on the armed forces thing, I want to share this story quick. I don't even know how many people know this, but when I was about to graduate high school, I didn't know what I was going to do. I had not applied for college or anything. So I went to this recruiting thing, this Army recruiting office or Navy recruiting, not Navy because I'm scared of water. So I would never go to the Navy. Right. So Army. And I basically went through the same thing. They showed me everything. I signed papers. This is the other thing. I was under 18 years old. I don't know how they had me come in there signing papers on my own without a parent, but they did. I signed papers, but they said you could choose. If you choose to go to college, then you don't have to go to the service, right? So I signed all the paperwork and everything. I did not raise my right hand, because that wasn't a part of the process. And so I went back to school. I graduated. And during the summer, I went to this program called Upward Bound. It was a program called Upward Bound where you go away, and it's like a college prep program. You go, you get some college, you take some classes, get some college credits. Okay, dude, I had forgotten all about what I had signed. They sent recruiters upstate to pick me up and bring me back to Long Island so we could discuss, like, what's going on? You signed the papers. You can't just back out now. I was like, I just stuck to my guns, man. Nah, you said if I go to college, I'm going to college. I'm going to college. I'm not going to the Army. And they kept me in there for a few hours, dude, like interrogating me, trying to get me to go.
to torture.
They didn't waterboard me, but listen, it felt like it. At 17 years old, I didn't know what I was, but I just stuck to my guns, man. And they sent me back, and I went to college. Well, I started college, and I never heard about it again. But as you tell that story, that it reminds me of that. I was young, man. I was scared, bro.
Because back in the day, they would when they had to draft. You might have been too young to remember
Yeah, I
the
was too
draft.
young for the draft, right?
So they would send you two tokens.
Okay.
They would send you two tokens, one to go, one to come back home.
Wow. Wow.
Then they would send you one token,
One to come.
and you wasn't coming back home.
Wow.
So they would send you during the draft. I remember my brother. They sent him two tokens. He went. That was for them to do all the paperwork, the physical, all that kind of stuff. Because you really didn't have no choice unless you had some kind of medical reason.
Right.
Maybe you might have been the only child, something like that. Or you could have got maybe your pastor, somebody to write a letter, something like that, and they might have.
Right.
But they would send you those two tokens. You go get your physical. Then they send you back home. Then in a couple of weeks, they send you one token. You bring a couple of pieces of clothing with you.
And they got you. You're there.
And that's it. And that's that. What you do? They give you time to kiss all your relatives goodbye.
Lord have mercy, man.
And if you try to run, they find you.
Wow.
And they'll come to your house and they'll pick you up.
Wherever you are, they're gonna come get you.
And they'll bring you.
Yeah, dude. It was scary, man. It was very scary. Vaughn, how you doing, baby?
What's going on, fellas? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're great,
All right,
man.
good.
It's good to see you, bro. Very good.
No, I'm sorry I missed you guys last week. I was running errands, and I got back. You guys were halfway through, and I was exhausted, so I just listened.
Hear you, bro. I hear you.
I listened to.
We always miss you, man. We always miss you when you're not here. You always have great insight, man.
It's good to be missed. It's good to be missed. I think I'm actually awake. The last time we were meeting a couple of weeks ago when I was on, I think I was a zombie through you guys. I've been exhausted physically and mentally for a while. So the last time we were in a meeting, I think I was just I was half alert.
You've had a lot going on, man. You had the kids go away, then they came back. You had birthdays,
and right now we have back. Everybody's back to school. Andrew's going into high school. So even while right now, Adrian is she's going the route because Andrew's going to Forest Hills High School. So we had to teach him the subway.
He's taking public transportation.
Right, we had to teach him the bus subway route, and then today Adrian is teaching him the railroad route. So
Wow.
So he has to have options.
Yeah. So listen, man. I again, y'all, you've heard me say this many times. I don't know how y'all do that city life, man. I've been on Long Island my entire life, bro, and I can't even imagine having to take subways and buses all across town, and then the way y'all schools are set up, like you don't go to the closest school to you. Like out here, you go whatever school district you're in. That's the school you go to, right?
Yeah.
You gotta compete for the special schools, and it's just a lot. It's a lot going on out there.
Absolutely.
Listen, I don't know if you saw my post earlier.
I did. I saw your post, and
what's your thoughts, man?
But before you get into that, you guys were talking about your recruitment stories. Did I ever tell you my high school recruitment story?
No, you did not.
So when I'm a senior in high school, and I'm getting calls constantly, like every day or every other day. I'm getting the calls from the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marines. Everybody's calling you, trying to recruit you, and and every time they call, I'm like, please click, please click. Well, I have no interest. Just just tell them to hang up.
Right.
Just into it. One day the phone rings, and I'm gonna be careful not to use the person's name, but Sergeant. Let me try to make up a name, Sergeant. Sergeant Taylor. No, okay. I don't want to use my daughter's name. No, Sergeant Marcus.
Okay.
Calls. Is a woman, and and the voice happens to be the most smoky, sexy voice you've ever heard. I'm shutting down people. I'm shutting down everybody who calls without even with 2 seconds. I'm from
Oh
the
my
click,
goodness,
click.
Vaughn.
But I hear this voice. Is this Vaughn Simmons? You know, it's
Wow.
this most sultry, sexy voice, and I'm intrigued.
So you don't hang up on her right
listen.
now.
I'm a red-blooded boy in high school. Say hi real quick and get out of the way.
Hey,
All
man.
right,
My dude, how you doing, man?
all right, now disappear. So I hear this voice, and I'm listening to her, and I'm like, it doesn't matter what she's saying. I'm like, I have to meet this woman.
Vaughn, shut your mouth,
And
dude.
she's like, I'll come and I'll pick you up after school, and you don't even have to come to meet me. I'll come pick you up, and I'll drive you back to the office, and we'll talk. Yes. Let's do it. Let's do it. When do you want to meet? What day after school? I'm doing.
Wow.
So I say yes. Of course I tell my boys, the sexiest woman in the world is coming to pick me up.
So
And
you know what my
I'm
question,
going.
I'm gonna let you finish, but you know what my question is gonna be. Go ahead.
So so the day comes. The day comes. I'm there after school, excited. Guy standing aside. And I'm just waiting in the hallway for her to come. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for her to come, and then and after a few minutes, I see somebody in. I see somebody in like in a Navy uniform, like making their way towards me. But let's just say, I'm trying to be politically correct, because I don't want other people to be offended. It's just not the most attractive person.
That was gonna be my
Re-
question.
really, I mean, very much not the most attractive person.
Oh my gosh.
Who is, I'm 5'5.5", and this person might have been around 5 feet, and just really not the most attractive person, and is making their way to me, but I'm looking over them for the sexy girl. Because I actually see this person coming, but I'm like, where's she at?
Wow.
And I'm looking, but the person is getting closer and closer,
Dude.
and walks up to me, and in that same sultry, sexy voice, Vaughn
Simmons.
Are you Vaughn? Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I am. And I walk away with her, and I see all the boys laughing in the corner. And I gotta get in the car, and I gotta go, and I gotta sit down and listen.
Through the whole process.
I had to go. Had to drive to the recruitment office and sit there and go through an hour and a half. I couldn't walk away and say I don't want to talk to you because you're ugly.
Wow. Wow.
That's like that. That's like that. Friday. Remember movie Friday?
Oh yeah.
With the girl with Janet Jackson.
But it was just like that. I learned my lesson, and here's the funny thing. Maybe a year and a half later, I was talking to some other guy, and we were talking about something, and he mentioned how he went for a recruitment before, and the person sounded so sexy. He said, but then when he met the person, and it happened to be the very same recruitment officer.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
I learned my lesson then, But
listen, dude. So we didn't have texting and all of that stuff back in the day. So
it was send me a photo so I know what you look like when you come pick me up.
I know who you are when you come. Yeah. And then you could have been on the bus going home or something.
Exactly.
So hold on. So I definitely want to get back to this in-person thing. But for those of you that are listening, thank you guys for joining us. And I want you, if you know someone that works in the city, that works for the city, that is a part of this mandate where they have to be in the office tomorrow, please have them join us and share your comments on what you guys think about this mandate. Randy shared a little bit. I shared a little bit. We're going to get Vaughn's idea on this mandate. How do you feel about this mandate, Vaughn?
Well, they're forcing people to come in who might otherwise don't really have to come in. Well, you hate the idea of people being forced in, especially if they could do their work at home. But it's not if it's not your business, and it's what the business decides, because they want people in. They probably want people. I think in most cases they want people in so they can really know and be in control of how business is being operated and how people are functioning and things of that nature, and they can make sure people are being effectively doing their job. I mean, that's the way it's always been. I mean, I think I saw something that Claudio said before, that that businesses have to get with the times, and they're going to be competing with other businesses that are going to allow people to work from home. And that's the case, but those jobs are going to be competitive for people to try to get those jobs. So in most cases, I think people are going to be like, no, I want people here so I can be sure that people are doing their job, they sure doing their work. And I don't like the idea of people being forced to get the vaccine. But you don't have to work either. If you don't have to work if you want to stay home and or start your own business. Otherwise you're subject to whoever you work for when it comes to that. And in most cases, I think people are going to want people to be vaccinated because they want to try to keep the virus down, and they don't want all their employees constantly going out. Who's the which business is the airline that is now going to be that's telling people? One of the airlines, is it Delta? I think, as a matter of fact,
they're saying that they have to be vaccinated.
They're telling people, those who don't get vaccinated, they're going to get I think it's like $500 a month on that they're going to have to pay for their insurance.
For insurance,
really?
Right? They're going to have to cover the cost because they're paying for so many people being out with COVID. Wow. So if you don't want to participate and get vaccinated, your insurance is going to go up because we're covering too much costs.
That's
wow,
right. It is.
I
Delta.
didn't hear that story. You heard that, Randy?
Yeah, it's Delta.
Wow.
Adrian,
my wife that works for Delta, and that's and so that's the thing. It's gonna they're hitting people
because they're covering the cost of all these people being out and their medical bills. So they're like, okay, we're gonna pass the cost off to you guys. If you're not doing what you need to do to try to help the situation, you're gonna pay for it.
Wow.
Adrian works for the healthcare union, 1199. But she works in offices. But they're requiring everyone, if you want to work there, if you want to continue to work, we have to, they're the healthcare union. They need to be up front. They need to be the example.
Wow.
Even if you're working in the office pushing papers and whatever else,
whatever your job is,
if you want to work,
they're mandating vaccine.
They're mandating or find another job, or find another job.
Wow.
I think they have till October to do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they have a thing where, because you hear people say that some people, businesses enjoy their employees working from home because they was getting a lot more done. People were saying that they work harder being home. Right. Than them being in the office.
Right.
And then sometimes like the employees are feeling like, we save a lot of money by not being in that building. And we able to still get everything done.
Right.
But I just think that now they're just saying, listen, we got to get back to some kind of
normal, right?
But here's the thing.
Some companies are saying that, you go in 2 times a week, you be off 3 times a week at home. But the time is that when you come back in the building, you got to be vaccinated.
Right.
But here's the thing. Some things can be done at home by yourself. You can probably take care of a lot of things at home. But some things only work well in community. Even if you can do a lot of stuff by yourself at home, some things and a lot of things, especially when issues come up. When issues come up, you have to be in groups. You have to you have to work together. You have to be face to face and talk things out and hash things out. And you can't always call a meeting constantly, on Zoom and things of that nature. Now, Adrian is actually only goes in currently. She only goes in 1 week out of the month. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how she does currently, because just before COVID, they were actually moving to a different location anyway.
Okay.
And the location they moved to, they combined two different buildings, so it would have been a lot more congested. So with COVID kicking in and they needing more space, realizing it's not, it's not really the smartest thing during COVID time to have everybody on top of each other. So
Uh-huh.
there's like, so let's let everybody comes in once a week. You do things on site. One month, 1 week out of the month, certain
Right.
people come in and they just alternate things like that, and they still do everything, online and
And she
Facebook, and do
says
a lot of work.
that's worked well for them for their
Yeah, it's been working, because
okay.
yeah, I mean, it's for the most part, it's been working. I mean, there's definitely been challenges, but
Okay.
they're figuring it out, and
Yeah,
Okay.
I
I
know
think,
that when I was dealing with like NICES, the retirement agency.
Uh-huh.
So I had to get on the phone and you have a meeting. And you could either have it set up where you're on Zoom or some kind of video conference call, or talk to them, or just talk to them on the phone. So you would call. They would set up a time that they're going to meet you, or they're going to call you. You give them the time. At that time, that phone rings. You pick up. They go through the whole thing. So now that they back in the building. So
Right.
now you're back in the building, but they give everybody, like, you got to set up an appointment to come in.
Right. Right.
Before you used to be able to just
Just come
walk
in.
up. I'm going down to Nicest to have my numbers run and just walk off and go in. But now they want you to set up an appointment. You got to call. You got to set up an appointment. Ain't no more really just walking in
Okay.
anymore.
that's pretty much everywhere, and
Yeah.
everything. You got to make an
So
appointment for. You got to make an appointment for everything now. It's it's
no.
not
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
yeah.
it's just a part of our new normal. So back to something that you said, Randy, because I know there are organizations, before this pandemic, I think there was a swell of people that were saying, there was a push for us to alter the overall uh, way that we work in America, right? We have 5 days and a 2-day weekend. There was a push for from people to say, okay, what if we alter this? What if we did 4 days and 3 days, right? 4 days working, even if you extend the hours, and then 3 days off. Um, and I think a lot of the pushback, especially when you're talking about space, especially in New York City, because rent on these spaces are astronomical. So people have these buildings that they're paying for, right? These organizations have buildings that they pay an exorbitant amount of money for, and they can't get used to these buildings that they pay so much for being empty, right? So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. My thing is this, especially with the pandemic, and listen, I'm not surprised at you guys perspective on it, but and I love that we have this type of dialogue, because we cover all the different spectrums, right? Some companies realize that, hey, our employees get all of their work done. They work really well. They're effective. Even though they're working from home, they're effective. We're able to monitor what they're doing and have these meetings and everything. So why don't we get rid of this lease that we have, that we're paying all of this money for, that we don't really need, because a portion of our company, the employees, they're able to work from home and be effective, right? Um, so that's a way for organizations to save money. But I just think it's people get uncomfortable with change, thinking about changing the entire work model. That can be scary for them, right? So I know that some organizations have done it. I think a lot of organizations just fall back on, this is what we're used to, so let's just keep it the way that it is. And I know there's a lot of things that come into play. For me, the big thing is when you're talking about people's health and well-being, especially because, first of all, a lot of people don't want to listen. Like I said, I don't like mandates, but I understand the mask mandate. So even though I'm vaccinated, I still have on my mask, and I follow that, not only for my safety but for the people around me. But a lot of people don't want to hear that. They're like, I'm not wearing a mask. I don't want you to force my kids to wear masks. They have the same issue with the word mandate that I do. But I think, you have to look at all these situations and see what is best for the overall, yourself primarily, but the overall community as well. How do we keep all of us safe? So even though I don't like the word mandate, I do understand that there's some things that have to be done to keep us all safe,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. Also, that they have to do it. But so like when you're talking about the companies 4 days, Amazon is like that.
Right.
Amazon allow you to they 10-hour days,
Uh-huh.
4 days a week, and you get 3 days off.
Right.
So like I said, a lot of companies are looking at it as far as they saving a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
Because they still getting the job done.
Right.
You hear teachers just say, I work harder being home.
Right.
From working home with kids than
then when they have
being in the building.
Absolutely.
See, the problem is though, like talking to Rachel, she's saying she still don't know what her attendance is going to be if the parents going to send them back.
Right.
She said she still don't know. She had one parent that's called and just saying that told her, like she told her last week, that he wasn't sending his son his kids because they can't guarantee anything.
Right.
And so she got another parent that was saying, I can't get them up. Now here's a kid, like 7 years old, ruling the house.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Let me tell you, with a parent with 3 kids in school right now, as a parent with 3 kids in school right now, in most cases, education over Zoom and or whatever else is not going to work. It's not, because the kids don't have they're preoccupied. You can't really get their attention. You can't really motivate them, and it's a push to do it. I got Taylor and Andrew, who have been excellent students, even with them, they've been excellent students, but we had to really push them during this past year and a half. We had to really push them because you can see the lack of interest, the lack of motivation when you can just easily hit the mute button, when you can easily just like, I'm gonna do this. You can't. And then I have an 8-year-old busy kid who's like, please, yeah. I mean, in most cases, and you talk to teachers, they'll tell you that, like you said, a lot of students, there's been students, even in Ryan's class, there were kids who, like clockwork, weren't going to be involved. I mean, you hear the frustration in the teacher every day, the kid, so I really believe, I know, especially Ryan has really suffered this past year and a half without being in the class, without having a teacher to really help him and, with his issues and the things, his problems and things of that nature. So as far as education, I believe kids need to be in school, and yes, we're still dealing with the difficulty of, and of them not being vaccinated and them being in school is a concern. We're definitely concerned about it. But I know my son needs to be in school. I mean, there's probably a few kids who can continue to excel in that situation, but I guarantee you most of them won't.
I have to agree. I definitely
think that's the reason why the mayor is pushing it, because he wants to get them back. Because the bottom line, they fell off. They was good, that they was doing good, they fell off. And so when you're talking elementary, it's hard because, like I said, and in the area to that when my wife teach, you have parents who's not really, education is not a big priority to them.
Right.
And not only that, if the parents are also working from home, how can they contract? This was Adrian's struggle. She's in work during it. She's at work, online, at home. Mm-hmm. She's at work, trying to work, dealing with issues and meetings and talking with clients and doing stuff. Meanwhile, Ryan is across in the other room, supposed to be in school, laid up on the couch, he's laid up on the couch, not listening, and you can't, you can't,
You can't leave that meeting to go.
yeah, you can't do it. So it's impossible. A parent can't work, if they got a job,
Right.
it's impossible to really concentrate on your work and also monitor your kids at the same time to make sure they're doing what they're doing. It's just impossible.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and we've heard that from so many educators as well as parents, and I think everybody sort of is on the same page in that aspect. That I think it depends on your level of concern, right? So okay, my children, they're in high school, they were able to get the vaccine, we got them vaccinated, so we're comfortable sending them. We preach to them all the time, keep your mask on when you're there, be safe. We totally understand nobody's going to stay 3 feet away from their friends all day.
Right.
That is ridiculous. So we understand. All right, that's a part of life now. So parents that are more concerned may be like, I need the virtual option because I don't want my child to get sick. And this is the reality. This is a part of their reality, is that if my child gets sick, and if I lose my child because I'm forced to send them into school, nobody can console me. You can't replace my child. You can't help me get over it because my child is sick. My child is gone. So I understand if that's their level of concern. In their mind, they're feeling like it's just so dangerous for me. I don't want to send them. I get it. I'm not there, but I get their concern.
I do too, especially if, let's be obvious, be real. Some kids have issues, physical issues, they have health issues.
Right.
Maybe they're compromised immune systems and things of that nature, and they do need the option for kids like that. They need to have an option, but they have to limit who can do it. They can't just say everybody who wants to
jump on, right?
Because then everybody want to try to do both things and everything else, and that's just going to lead to mass confusion.
Well, I think that's what why they're waiting on it. They're waiting to see how it is. Like I said, if parents not sitting in their school, kids still got to be taught. So they're going to force the hand. What they're going to have to do in home learning. So and then if kids start getting sick, now you shut down the school again, or you shut down the classroom again.
Yeah.
So I think this is like a trial error to see how things. You don't want to go that route and say we're gonna give the option of in homeschooling
at the top. You don't want to give that option at the beginning.
Because I was talking to the yesterday. You remember Mel Smith, the guy who used to play sax in the band?
Absolutely, yeah.
So he's in Florida now with his family. And he was just telling me, so I was talking to him about this guy, the governor. And I said, do he have any kids? He says, yeah, he have 2 kids, but they're not school age.
Wow.
So he's not worrying about sending his kids out.
Right.
But they're like 2 or 3 years old. So they're not school age.
Right.
So, but he was saying that how he was upset because his daughter, there was this parent, it was 2 parents, they sent their kids to school and they had the virus.
Wow.
And they knew that they had the virus. So now, once they find out that they had the virus, he gets a call that his daughter was in the class, all this kind of stuff. You got to go get her tested. So he said he goes and he get one of those over-the-counter home tests, and it came back negative. Then they said that they don't accept that. You got to go get
the other one.
So he went to go to the health place, got it tested. But then got it tested. She came back negative. Then he get a call that they had to shut the school down. Shut the class down. For practically
she can't go back anyway.
Days in. Right. So she can't go back.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is the on constant thing, because you still going to have parents who don't want to take this thing seriously. They're just sending their kids out.
And then my question is, what what are the repercussions to those parents? Like if a parent knowingly sends their child in, knowing that they have the
There's no
vaccine.
laws. There's no laws in the books for it right now. So I mean, all you can do is say stay home. Don't
Right.
say that said you're a bad parent. That's all you can pretty much do.
Right,
Let,
right.
let me tell you right now. There's down in Georgia. There is some people I knew from growing up here in church. There's a woman I grew up in church. She was an anointed singer, and she actually even sang at my mother's funeral.
Mm.
But so I know her very well, and I was talking to her niece, who's a good friend of mine, and her niece was telling me, "Man, I've been talking to my aunt, and she will not get the vaccine. She will not get the vaccine. Why? And she was mad at me because I got the vaccine, and she's saying that your faith, you don't got no faith." And
Oh,
everything else, and she's like, God's gotta cover us and protect us, and I'm gonna put some anointed oil over the door, that whole routine, and y'all ain't got faith, and y'all doing this and everything else. So that was a conversation a month and a half ago. Conversation 3 weeks ago is I'm trying not to say her name. Is aunt so and so is in the hospital, and so is the 19-year-old Down syndrome son that she adopted.
oh,
The disease can so she put the anointed oil over the doorstep to keep the COVID angel from coming in,
come on, man.
and COVID came walking straight through the door
Right.
with the 19-year-old son who was at school.
Wow.
So he's at school, and and neither one are vaccinated. And the 19-year-old, probably his immune system is probably depressed because of
Right.
different drugs and stuff that he's on. So he gets COVID in school, brings it home.
Brings it home.
They're both go to the hospital, and I'm gonna be honest right now. Right now, we need the Lord to work a
It
miracle,
doesn't look good.
because both of them right now are not doing well, and
Wow.
we don't know. We really don't know. So it's just this is what's going on, and kids are getting in school, and they're in Georgia, of course, another state that is famous for its lack of vaccination, and is pushed back their governor
Right.
and the people. So people are not taking this seriously,
They're not, man.
for
They don't
different
take it.
for different reasons. Some politically, some religiously,
Right.
are
Yep.
not taking it seriously. So it's and it's going on here in New York too, but maybe not to the same degree, but it's
Right.
still going on. So
It's absolutely going on.
I mean, it's going
Absolutely
on
going
there's
on.
different
everywhere
reasons.
until they get it.
Right. Right.
Then they want to testify and tell everybody you need to take this thing seriously if God brings them through it.
If God
Right.
brings them through it, or
If
or
God
If
brings
they
them through
make
it.
it through.
You
Right.
know, now you want to take it seriously. Because how it is. We taught that anything taken to the extreme become error.
Error. Right.
So you go through this whole situation, like you said, putting the oil and no have the faith and this and this. Look, there are many people had died in the faith.
Yep.
that was my argument. That's exactly what I said.
Exactly.
They have many people that died in the faith that
There are
believe God.
the reason why it became real to most of us is because we saw all these pastors and bishops and
Right.
evangelists that we all know
Right.
all going home to see the Lord.
Exactly.
So then their faith was strong,
Yep.
and it took them right out.
And it took them out.
Yeah.
It took them
Yeah.
all. It took them out. This is my thing. I can I fight for the fact that you talk about that you don't want your children to wear the mask,
Mm-hmm.
but then all right, but they don't have anything else to try to protect them.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
You have nothing else. They don't have a vaccine for them. They're working on a vaccine. So at least the only thing, if you really say you love your kids, and if you're going to send them to school, then let them make sure, man, they have a mask on. That's
Right.
the only thing that you can say. I'm not saying that it's going to stop them from getting it,
Right.
But
variants or COVID or whatever it is. But at least we say this is the one thing that every scientist, everybody agrees on.
Right.
Right.
Listen, I have faith.
Absolutely.
I trust God. But at the same time, you know, you gotta God has placed the scientists and things and given men the mindset to be able to study the body, to study the diseases.
Exactly.
Come on,
Listen,
Exactly.
listen.
and so you gotta have hand in hand. I'm not saying
Right.
throw your faith out the window and put all
I
your
think
faith
that's
in
a
the
part of
science.
faith, Randy.
I, li-
I think that's a part of our faith, right?
Listen, a year ago we were praying, and God send us some help, send something, send us something to protection,
Right.
I guarantee you, there were people paying for a vaccine, paying for God to come to bring us something that can pull us out of this situation,
Yep.
and God answers most of the time.
Right.
I was in the conversation with my father. I was like, and I said, and most of the time, God's answer comes through the form of men.
Right.
Men supplying, men being able to do something, men supplying, whether it's money
Right. Right.
or food that we eat.
Right.
It's like there's the only time God doesn't, if God wants to supernaturally give you divine healing, and
Right.
back in the biblical times when he used to drop manna from the sky.
Right.
Other than that, God is giving you that whatever He's providing you with is usually coming through some other man who is being able to do it. And that's the case with medicine as well. And God.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I forget the full story. It's sort of like a joke or a tale or whatever about, I guess the man is up on a cliff and he's hanging, and God please save me, God please save me, and somebody comes by with a helicopter to like save him and get him off the things. That no, God's gonna save me, God's gonna save me. God is sending the helicopter to save you, and you're sitting there worrying about a supernatural healing.
Yeah, our former governor told a form of that story on his last news
Really?
conference before they gave him the boot.
Wow.
Before he said goodbye, that was like one of his. He gave that story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, and like you gotta respect the doctors. And the thing is, it's just so crazy how people think, man.
Right.
Because if you get a pain and you go to the doctor because of this issue, that issue, and the doctor said prescribe this medicine to you, you trust the doctor enough to go to Walmart, go to CVS,
Yep.
wherever your pharmacy is, have them, and you go pick that medicine up and you take it, and you don't even bother questioning it.
Right.
And the thing about it, it don't even do nothing for you because it's not you just taking the medicine. You don't even know. I mean, it is. So the bottom line is, I just think that in people's mindset, some people just want to go against the grain. If you tell them to go right, they're gonna go left. They don't have no reason. They don't really have no real reason.
Right.
I mean, my wife was just asking, her and my daughters get ready to go to taking swimming lessons. So Rachel saying, "You want to go?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to go. I'm not going swimming like that." She said, "Why? It's a life-saving skill like that. I'm not planning on being in the water like that."
Right, exactly.
I'm not planning on being in the water like that.
Right.
I don't go to the beach. I don't like the beach and stuff like that. So, but she did it in college. She wants to go do it. Her thing is, listen, man, we're gonna be down in Florida. We got 4 swimming pools.
You're gonna be in the beach, buddy.
Wait, do you have a pool at the new house?
No, I'm not having one built.
Really?
They have the reason why, because they have 4 pools.
I got
in the community.
Gotcha.
In that community, and one is an Olympic size pool.
Wow.
So you can do all your laps and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They got plenty of pools.
Okay.
So I don't have to build one. You just walk on over there and just go and go right in the pool. So that's her thing. So I'm like, nah, I'm not. I don't want to go. But some people. Now, do I have a reason? No, I really don't have a reason. I just don't want to go. I don't want to go take a swimming lesson.
Right.
So now my daughter, she's not vaccinated.
Okay.
What's her reasoning?
That's the reason. We asked her. We asked her. She just don't have a reason. She just don't want to get vaccinated.
Okay.
She's saying that she want to wait a year.
Okay.
That's. I think I told you,
And that's the
Thurston,
craziness.
before. That's really what's going on a lot in on my family, in my father's family right now.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of his siblings. Now, his siblings, they're all in their 70s and 80s.
Uh-huh.
And there's a bunch of them who are not getting vaccinated. I got cousins as well. Some of them are just straight up conspiracy theories.
Right.
This is just who they are. So and I don't trust it. And some, they're saying what they want, but I know they got a long history of being conspiracy theorists. So
Uh-huh.
I just take what they say and be like whatever. But and then I got other I have an aunt who's like, it's gonna kill me. It's gonna kill me. Meanwhile, her husband has it.
Wow.
And he's not dead.
Wow.
So, and she's like, if I take it, it's gonna kill me. I have a cousin who's goes to one of those evangelical churches.
Uh-huh.
And their teaching is that is of Satan. It's the precursor to
Unbelievable.
Is the precursor to the mark of the beast and that foolishness, and so it runs the whole gamut. And then I have another aunt who's just like I'm not scared. I just didn't do it. If the Lord tells me to take it, then I'll take it. And I'm like, if the Lord tells me, and I'm like, how about this, Auntie? I'm like, Auntie, why don't you just pray about it? And I was like, well, instead of waiting for God to, waiting for instead of waiting for the bushes to catch on fire in the backyard, why don't you just pray about it and ask the Lord what you should do and move on it? Right. And she don't want to hear it. I'm just, so they're in their 80s. They all have various, degrees of issues going on.
Right.
And I'm being honest, I'm concerned that I'm going to lose one of them in this manner, because of their age and the other issues and things of that nature, that if they catch it, it's just going to be a battle for them to overcome.
Right. So let me ask this: Are they cautious? Do they wear masks? Are they washing their hands and stuff like that, or are they just living like if I get it, I get it? Like,
well, they say they're wearing their masks and stuff, and some of them I'm not around. So
okay,
the crew that's in Virginia. I don't know what they're doing because, again, they go to that type of evangelical churches, those evangelical churches. So, and in some of those evangelical churches, COVID is not real, or just walking, you just, you don't believe it, because they swing very far right politically and things of that nature. And and other ones that are in Jersey, they go to a church where some of the people are masked, so I think majority of the people are masked and things of nature. And one of them works with children, so one of them works with children. So I hope she's aware that if she has about a month to take the vaccine, or she's out of a job.
That's it.
So
that's it.
But it's frustrating, and it's causing issues in the family right now, because even my father, who's still here, he was supposed to stay at some of their homes, during this time that he's been here, and we've like, no, he's not coming. Yeah, he's not coming. And I want him to see his siblings and everything else, because again, they're in their 80s, and we don't know how long the Lord's going to allow all of them to be around. And so we wanted them to see each other, and being that they live in different parts of the country, but no, he can't stay with you. We're gonna do a drive-by hello, and that's gonna be the extent of his time with you. And you guys see each other on FaceTime.
That makes perfect sense, man.
And it's causing some bad feelings and things of that nature, but it's what we have to do. And listen, I got one cousin with his mother who's being even more careful than I am. So,
wow.
Yeah, I think sometimes like it's like she said that she wanted to wait a year. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, you got all the therapies, stupid stuff going out there, or y'all gonna wind up growing an extra limb and all this kind of stupid stuff. I'm like, but now because she works for the city,
She's got
She's going to be forced to do it or have to give up her job
to do it. So I don't believe like that she's scared to do it. You just got to understand how she is. She's a person that all her life, and we learned this from a doctor. You know, a doctor told her that she has, I forgot the name that they use, but she has, they call it defiance something. So she's gonna go the opposite, no matter what.
Right.
No, but she don't want to hear. Basically, it's what's in her mind. This is how she is. She gonna prove her point. She gonna stick with her point, no matter what. And you just gotta say, okay, you know, just enough.
Just do you right.
Yeah, because you know, it's just like I said, when you just listen to people, man, sometimes you know what they say just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And so I just realized that there's going to be people that just going to go against the grain, just like that governor in Florida, the governor in Texas. You know, these knuckleheads. You know, what they saying is just
ridiculous.
Just ridiculous, and you see it, and then but you still got a following of people that follow them.
Right.
You know, and this is what it is, and you
know, because our former president set that precedent, and everybody had to follow it.
You know, so you have these people that's doing it, but you know, people are going against them. People are fighting against them. People are coming after them, and like going to not really. They try to put these mandates, and the government is like saying no for good. Get out of here, and so. I think that's good. Like I said, I'm not a person that like mandates, neither. You know, it's just like when I have to go working for the city, you have to take this, and not only in the city, but I probably private sector too. You have to take this sexual harassment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to do it. It's
you
a
got
mandate.
to do it. You have to do it. You got to sit there for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and answer these questions. You have to do it. I mean, that's just a part of it.
Well, you know, it's probably good because a lot of guys, I'm going to be honest, who probably have no clue what was considered sexual harassment.
Yes,
because you
cannot do.
Guys,
yes,
as well as girls also.
But they get away with it. But they'll get away. They'll get away with it. We won't. We won't get away with it. During when our governor was going through some of this stuff and everything else, some of the stuff against him was simply, he touched me on the shoulder and whatever else. I think there was one girl who said he tried to touch her backside or something of that nature, whatever else. And I think it was one woman who said something like that, but everything else seemed to me, but it was like, maybe he was a little flirty. He's a little flirty, and you can't be flirty even anymore. And I just remember at one point saying, I hope no one goes back and talk to the girls that I knew in middle school.
Listen. I think that's every guy, though, Vaughn. I think that's every guy.
I was like, if they go back and talk to my middle school classmates, I might be in trouble.
But so this is the thing. I think there's a lot of men that feel the same way. Yeah. But this is the thing. We have to learn, man. We have
absolutely
to learn. We have to learn. We got to get it through our heads. Somebody like a governor, man. There's a power dynamic that you have where you just have to set in your mind, okay, I cannot date, flirt with, or talk a certain way to anybody in my office that works, even if they don't work for me directly. If they work for someone that works for me, like, dude, go out and talk to somebody on your level, somewhere else. You can't do that.
Or if someone comes working for you that looks like Halle Berry, quit your job. Quit your job and then ask out on a date.
But dude, you can't do it. You cannot do it, bro.
Things have changed because and I'm glad that it has, because women has gone through a lot.
Absolutely, dude. and
They
it's
have,
still going
yeah.
through,
I
man.
mean, because
Absolutely.
they were just seen as, you know, number sex symbols. I
Yep,
mean,
this
you can
object.
be not even that good looking, let's say,
Uh huh. Uh
but
huh.
when you're around men, men don't they don't care.
Nope.
You know, they gonna try to seize the opportunity,
Oh
and they're
yeah.
gonna try to say something. And most of the times, you know, women were like, "Ah, it don't bother me." They kind of like play it off, you
Right.
know. And like, you know, when you working with a bunch of men and you in sanitation, or you got a cop, or you this and that, and you're around a practically dominant men world, and you come in as a female, you know, you're gonna hear the conversations, you're gonna hear this, you're gonna hear that. I remember one time I was working at the police pound, and this young girl, black girl, came in there, right? And I think she might have been a Christian. So she's sitting across from me, and she was, you know, we doing the work. She had just came in there. She wasn't working with me. I think she was from someone from the police department. So the cops came in and they cursing, and she said, and she turned around like, "Who's that cursing like that?" And then they got up and the cops walked out.
Wow.
The next day, I didn't see her anymore.
She was gone.
She was gone.
Wow.
Then they had her removed.
Basically, you know, because I don't, if it's like a intimidated thing, because, you know, she could easily bring them up on charges.
Oh,
Mm.
absolutely. Yes.
And I had a girl that I was working with named her name, and she was quick like that. Now she can be flirty and talking all kinds of stuff to a bunch of men, but she used it to her advantage. And as soon as she couldn't get what she wanted, she flipped.
And that's why you
Right.
She flipped.
cannot even give into that, bro. You cannot give
I
into it.
mean,
I
you
don't
seeing
care.
it
Right.
more and more now that you learn it. You have to learn that lesson. You
Right.
know,
But
you have a meeting. You're a man with a woman. You leave your door open.
you're
Or,
right. I
or you
agree.
have your secretary there. You got to, like we always
Protect
talk about,
yourself,
But
push,
bro.
but
building things to protect you.
one of my concerns is that because I'm not going to say all women, because women have definitely been abused in the workplace for years. It's just been the way it was. But one of my concerns is that some women in some circumstances may exaggerate things or make things worse than they really were, and there was and because of that, I think there will be some men who will avoid allowing women to get to certain positions. They won't tell you, because then there will be some, tell you the reasons why, but they won't allow women into certain positions just to avoid that from happening. And so you'll find that some women will not be able to move up who are deserving, may not be able to move and come into the office in certain positions just because somebody says, I'm going to avoid that from ever becoming an issue, because you can't trust who that person is and that person's character, and how that could somehow pop up that this charges against me or somebody else or whatever
Right.
else on
And
something that was on something that was innocent. So
that's the sad part about it, though, right? Because listen, it could happen to any one of us at any time, right? And I put Luisa's comment up because, like she said, that also some of those women were really exaggerating when we were talking about the governor. But this is the reality. Like you said, women have put up with so much nonsense for so long. And you're always gonna have, I don't care what the issue is. It could be black, white, it could be man, woman, whatever. You're always gonna have someone on the fringes that's going to exaggerate or take things too far. Absolutely. Right. But I think overall, I know this for a fact. I've seen it. Women have put up with nonsense and not said anything just so they
they've
can
had to.
continue to rise on the ladder, right? And because they have put up with it and not said anything, those advances, those things continue to happen. And, they just want to get to a place where they can support themselves, support their families. Is that me? Oh, sorry. They want to get to a place where they can support themselves, they can have a good life, support their family, whatever. And they will put up with stuff that they shouldn't have to put up with. And it's unfortunate that you're right. Some men will take that attitude when they should be taking the attitude. How about take the attitude? Let me respect them for who they are, right? And understand. Like, listen. First of all, if you're married, none of that should be an issue at all, because you shouldn't be flirting. You shouldn't be trying to see anybody else outside of your marriage. But even if you're single, when you are looking to date someone, when you're looking to have a special relationship with someone, you got to know that can't be a subordinate. And in actuality, I mean, we spend a lot of time with people in our workplaces. So I understand you could be attracted to someone or whatever, but we have to be very mindful about what we do, what we say, who we date, how we date. You have to be mindful of it. And it's not just about keeping ourselves safe. We have to protect our women. Our women have not been protected for so long, man. And we have to protect our women. And a way of protecting them is keeping ourselves in check, man. We have to.
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
right, Louisa. Absolutely.
yeah, right. But it's that. But then you have the flip side,
Uh-huh.
where some of them use it to their advantage.
Uh-huh.
They understand, like you said, they want to climb that corporate ladder.
Yes.
So they'll use it to their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like when I worked in the private sector, and I'm just like in the mailroom, but I'm working with all the executives,
Right.
and I see the young girls coming in, and I'm looking like, how in the world did you start working for the chairman of the board?
Mm-hmm.
How did you get that position?
Right.
And you start seeing, but they use it to their advantage to get where they want to get in the company. And like you said, and it's sad because some of them, they don't like it, but they take it because if I say anything, I could lose my job. I'll be blackballed. I can't go nowhere else because then I'm as a troublemaker and all this kind of stuff. And some of them could be married. But I don't want to really say anything to my husband. We need this money. So they start reasoning with themselves. So I'm kind of glad that is coming into focus now.
Absolutely.
Where you can now start putting these people on the spot.
Absolutely. And this is the beauty about where we are now, Randy, is because now there are laws in place. And laws have been in place for quite a while, actually, but even though laws are in place, people are still hesitant to make a complaint and officially say anything because of how they are viewed or treated going forward. So okay, you have a CEO of a large organization, and he's doing stuff he should not do, and complaints come in, and the complaints are found to be valid. Many times, these CEOs still get to leave their job with a huge severance, so they get to go off and live their life. The person that brought those charges, even though they may still be able to keep their job, get some type of compensation, they're still viewed a certain way by society. Even though they were victimized, they're still viewed a certain way. And again, I'm going to go back to this. I know that there are some people that take advantage of it. I know it. But I would say the overwhelming majority of women in the workplace have dealt with these issues for generations, for centuries, this has been happening. And it's good that we are coming to a place where they can actually call people on the carpet and really, let people know what's been going on. It's so important. Listen, I got four
but
daughters, man, so I'm passionate about this stuff.
absolutely, but also the danger is also, and because I would believe that most people that bring those charges are being truthful, in
Right?
most cases. But some people have different levels of what they consider to be,
Yes.
so that's the thing. So just asking someone out on a date, or just try to test the waters to see if a person is interested, can
Could
be
be
considered
viewed as sexual
as
harassment.
sexual harassment.
Yep.
When
Yep.
someone's
Yep.
just trying to talk to someone just to see if, hey, to see if they have an interest in me,
Yep. Yep.
and that could be considered sexual harassment. So, and to be honest, anyone can come out and say this person has done certain thing,
Uh-huh.
and you have no defense.
No, you
And
don't.
no matter, you literally have no defense, because once it's out in the atmosphere that this person has committed a sexual harassment, committed an offense against me, even if they don't have, there's literally
No
no
proof.
proof,
Right.
because the mantra is, I believe women. That
Yes.
I keep hearing everybody,
Absolutely.
I believe, and so you just supposed to, I believe them no matter what. I believe women.
Right.
That is a
Right.
mantra that they use, and I'm like, but some women make up stuff. You know,
Absolutely.
I know a young lady who's she is now in her 40s, but
Okay.
she says, when she literally has said, when I was in my teens, when I was in my 20s, I made up stuff. I've caused harm to men
Wow.
from
Wow.
things that I said happened
Mm.
that didn't happen. And
Wow.
and when she says it, and those men suffered. I mean, so so what is the defense, Thurston, that you have if some women that you work with, who's bonkers,
I'm
and
going on.
or is angry at you for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
says, I'm gonna get
Listen,
him.
I get it.
I
Go
mean,
onto Amazon and get yourself a body camera and wear that body camera every day and record your interactions,
you
bro.
have to wear a GoPro on a date.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You do what
So
you got to do, man. Listen, that's one
you
of the
know,
things that, and think about it. Even our wives have to be concerned about things like that, right? And I'm
mhm.
not talking about them in the workplace. I'm talking about them have to be concerned with us in the workplace. If someone comes out and says Thurston did so and so and so and so, then listen, I'm left to fight this battle, right? I have to stand on my what I've established as my character in the workplace, how I've dealt with people over the years, and I'm sure I would have plenty of character witnesses. But the bottom line is this, and I think even men feel the same way. When you hear about these charges, I think we lean towards, yeah, he probably did it, right? I think most of society leans towards he probably did it. Um, but what you said is so important, Vaughn. So, what rises to the level of sexual harassment? Is it a look with no words? Is it uh, a playful gesture? It could. I mean, at some point, it may come to where it's a handshake. I felt uncomfortable. The way he shook my hand or whatever. So we have to be overly
Right.
cautious and
With our
careful.
governor, until that woman came out and says, oh, he tried to touch my butt. Everything was, he held my face, or
Yep.
he kissed me
He
on the
touched my
cheek, or he
shoulder,
touched my
right?
shoulder. And one woman was like, oh, he asked me about my dating life. I mean, and they were all like, they all acting like he committed the great offense.
You can't
You
do
know,
it. Listen, you can't
and
do it, bro.
it's like,
You can't do it. You can't
Listen,
ask about their dating life. You can't do it. You can't touch their face like that. Listen. I get it. I
yeah,
get
listen,
it.
I
That
remember.
may have been the way of the past, but you cannot
yeah.
do it now. You can't do
Listen,
it.
I remember there was a young lady that was at the church, Y'all probably know her. And she was real flirty.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women didn't like her. And she was really flirty with like a lot of married men.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, some of the women they didn't like her, you know. So I remember I was talking with her. We was talking, chit chatting, and Erica was in the back of the church.
Uh-huh.
And Erica was like, we talking, and so she touched me.
Uh-huh.
And Erica was like, why she touching him? Why she touching him? she was like,
She has an eagle eye, bro. She's an eagle eye.
But, you know, now to me, it was innocent. I didn't think nothing of it because I know me.
Right. Right.
You know, I know me. At the end of the day, I'm going, you know, and so, but my sister, she was there and she was on the case, and she didn't like the fact because she felt, first of all, he's married. You got no business putting your hand on him.
Nope, don't touch him.
Yep. And all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
Because you can interpret it in any kind of way, you know.
Yep.
So a lot of times things can be innocent. People can be naive. I was a very, very young man that was naive to a lot of stuff because I was not one of those guys that's out there. Even though I came up in the church. I was somewhat popular. People knew me, stuff like that. But I always respected the ladies.
Right.
My mom's taught me that way. I was always careful on how I treated them, how I talked to them.
Right.
That was me. You would never see. Now I know other guys, they would be ready to go here and there and stuff like that. But I was always dot my I's, cross my T's. You could say if I was if I had a girlfriend, I was a boring boyfriend. I was boring because I was not about, you know. That was not my life.
The girls were like, trying to kiss me or something. Give me a reason to fight you off.
Oh man!
So, but I treated them with respect, and you know, it's just that the way some people how they would interpret stuff. Now, like I said, this young lady that I work with, she was very, very flirty at times, but she would use it for her advantage, and she didn't get her way. So what happens now? She was a horrible worker.
Mm.
They wanted to get rid of her, but nobody would write her up
because they were afraid.
Because they were afraid.
Yeah.
That she was afraid that she would say something, and now there's an investigation and all this kind of stuff. There was this one guy who was a foreman who was trying to mess with this young lady on the job. And so what happened was she was married. Mm. She's on the phone talking to her husband. He gets mad at her for being on the phone talking to her husband. She found out that he had a bunch of pictures of her. Yeah, what? A bunch of pictures. And so when she found out, she brought him up on sexual harassment. Because when they would have like Christmas parties and stuff like that, it's like in sanitation Christmas party. And so he would come from downtown Manhattan to Brooklyn to one of our office sites, and sometimes he would bring her. So everybody was like, "Yeah, man, like that." So he would try to like pull her real close, and not want her to associate with the other guys.
Wow.
Because he was thinking that this was like his
woman. This is my girl.
But once she found out and woke up, she put him up on sexual harassment. They suspended him and they moved him somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Because of all the things that that he would do.
Right.
And so this is just, like I said, They can use it to their advantage when they want to, and then if I don't get what I want, then I'm gonna bring you up on sexual, and you have no real recourse unless you have somebody there that understand the story that can help testify against the situation or whatever the case might be.
That's why you document everything. You just got to be mindful, bro. Listen, it could have false charges could happen to anyone at any time. I mean, right. Just walking down the street, bro, false charges can happen.
Listen, you can have a child that can come up and say he touched me, and that'll be the end of it.
Absolutely.
That'll be the end of you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How did our former president Bill Clinton get into that situation?
Right.
Because of what was in him. Exactly. And so it's crazy, man. That's that type of stuff that goes on like that.
This is a wild time that we're living in right now. Really
and I think that women need to start speaking up more.
Absolutely.
And they need to start saying that and stop worrying about that. Now they have more recourse and stuff like that. I remember one time Rachel was telling me that she had a male teacher that was at the job, and every time they would talk, meeting, whatever, he would like touch. And so she finally she said, listen, you make people uncomfortable. You too touchy feely. Stop touchy feely.
Right.
So and then he kind of backed off. Because when you in a situation like a male teacher and most dominant female in schools was mostly women. There was, you basically can set up your pick of the litter,
Yep.
In some sense,
In one way, you never know. He might have been, as I said before, one of the guys who was testing the waters to see what kind of feedback he would get. Just see, testing to see who's down and who's not.
Right. So and that's. Listen, I keep going back to my mantra, man. We have to be respectful. Now, so I never have the issue. Listen, I'm coming up on my 25th year of marriage. I don't have the issue about flirtation and all of that stuff. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. If I'm going to flirt with somebody, it's going to be with Erica Edwards O'Neill. That's the only person I'm going to flirt with, right? But, and I just had in a meeting, I was sharing this with someone that, I have even changed the way that I interact because I'm a friendly guy, right? I like to interact. I like to joke. I mean, I've never been comfortable joking sexually outside with any other female, right? With any female outside of my marriage. But I've even changed the way that I talk, the way that I interact, the way that I say hello. All of that stuff has to be altered. You have to protect yourself. Now, do I go into a shell? Absolutely not. I'm still very personable, right? We're still able to have great conversations and laugh and have fun. But
you embrace.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely the way you embrace, bro.
Oh, yeah, you have to do that side hug thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You have to be, man. That's what we have to do.
Embrace.
Yes. So, listen, and that's a whole nother show. I was trying to get off by 5 o'clock today. I knew it was virtually impossible.
Yeah. We I thought we were going to actually stick to topic today.
Yeah, but you know how it goes, man. We always go off topic. That is. I'm going to let you guys do your final words for today, man. Randy, what's your final words for today, man?
I mean, once again, man. I mean, we say it all the time, man. It's like beating a dead horse, man. Just enjoy this time, man. I look forward whenever we able to get on and chop it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
I understand that everybody is busy and doing them things, and some people
Yep.
saying they got their honeydew list to do.
Absolutely.
Listen, man, let me tell you about your honeydew list. That's how come I make sure I get everything done before Sunday.
So Sunday is free, right?
Sunday is the rest day. That's the Lord's day. I ain't doing nothing. I really don't go out on a Sunday.
Wow.
We gonna go out. We going out on Saturday. We gonna do. I try to get everything done before Sunday. I hate getting up. Got to do things, man. So I try to get everything done as much as possibly. And but yeah, man. Like I said, I enjoy this time, maybe just to being able just to talk a little bit.
Absolutely.
And just enjoy it, man. Keep coming with this conversation. I was glad you this makes 3 weeks already.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we on a roll now, bro.
Yeah. How's my sister? I gotta ask that question, man. How's she
good,
doing?
man. She's coming along real good, Randy.
Did they start doing the physical touch yet?
Oh yes. She did online physical therapy. She's gonna start in-person physical therapy soon. And listen, she's healing up really well, man. She's moving around real good. She's doing. Ernesto said he had to go to work on Saturday, so that's why he got stuck doing his honeydew list today.
Well, you got to make that money, brother. So we ain't mad at you.
That's right. That's right. You gotta do, bro. But no, Erica's coming along really well, Randy. I of course I told her that you called to check on her and everything, and of course Vaughn and Adrian's been checking on her and everything. So
how? Is it when they do the physical touch? Is it more pain?
She hasn't even gotten to that place yet. Right now, physical therapy is about walking, about adjusting her leg and the movements and different exercises like that. But listen, you can't do any pressure on that leg or around that at all right now because it's not fully healed yet. But I think in the next week or so she'll be able to swim and stuff like that. So she's getting better. She's right on schedule, just like the doctor said. She's right on schedule.
Yeah, I know. Like my sister-in-law had a knee replacement, and
I heard knee replacements are really bad, bro.
And she's saying that she having problem with what did you call it? As far as being able to really stretch that knee out, and I can move it. She's saying that's I guess the pain from it.
Right.
They're trying to get it to get more mobility in it,
exactly,
and stretch it out.
It takes time, man.
And she's saying that's where she's struggling at.
Yeah.
That's the
time,
thing.
But if she sticks to the exercises and the physical therapy, eventually, because these things are pretty common these days. I mean, there's a lot of people that have gotten hips and knees and all these other things.
I find that the other thing is that especially if you really heavy.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Like Rachel has a good friend, then she needs knee replacement really bad. But they told her she has to
lose some weight first,
at least 20 pounds by December.
Wow.
And she can't use, she said, because the weight that she's at, she'll never be able, the knee won't be able to support it.
20 pounds is not easy, bro.
Not in about 4 months.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, for real.
That's a lot. And then she needs it. That's the bottom line. She's like really struggling, but so
man. Yeah. So yeah, I'll listen, I'll let her know you asked about. She's probably watching right now. But I'll let her know you asked about her, man. Definitely. Love you, bro.
Yeah.
Always. Vaughn, final words, man.
Again, just to reiterate what Randy said, it's always great to get together with my brothers and talk.
Absolutely.
About all different subjects and everything else. Is just it's refreshing, and it's it's a way to just I don't know, just to share with my brothers and just to talk. Being that we can't always be together physically. One of these days we're
Right.
gonna do a show together, right?
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna do one soon,
But
man. We're
but
gonna
it's
do one
just
soon.
it's great to get together and
Yeah,
miss the brothers that are missing today. But I hope
yeah.
everyone's doing well. And Ernesto, we're gonna keep you lifted up. I know you school starts tomorrow.
Yeah,
I know
dude.
you got a lot in your hands, brother, and we're gonna keep you covered. All
Definitely
right.
keep me
Yeah,
lifted,
yeah.
But
man.
but
Absolutely.
yes, let's just continue to keep everybody everybody lifted up and just pray for this whole situation with the mandates and just pray
Yeah,
that wisdom steps in for some people. I people make wise decisions on taking the vaccine or not taking the vaccine and
right.
stop the hysteria and that we
Yeah.
can move along because we need to. We
Yeah,
need
we
to.
definitely need to. We absolutely need to. Thanks, Vaughn. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, bro. I missed you the last couple of weeks, man, and I love having you on the show, man. Your insight is always great. It's been wonderful for everyone that's been listening to checking in, going in and out of the show. We appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for joining the Brothers Like Us. Please tell a friend that Sundays at 4 o'clock. You just got regular brothers having conversations about anything that's happening. I think we have a really good insight and really good view. And we don't always agree, but we always listen to one another. So, encourage your husband, your uncle, your cousin, your brother, whatever, to come on, join the conversation, share their thoughts and ideas. And of course, all the ladies that come on, we appreciate your insight.
And give us
Louisa,
some subject matter.
Nicole,
Give us some subject matter. We love to have
absolutely,
people some
absolutely.
things that people would like us to discuss. We
Yes,
would love
yes,
to.
yes. We would love to discuss all of these things. So this whole women in the workplace thing, that's a whole nother show, bro. That's
Yeah,
something
absolutely.
we can definitely dive into. I would love for us to discuss that even more and get
The
the ladies'
workplace, the
perspective on it as
church,
well.
the
Huh?
workplace, the
The
church.
workplace, the church.
Exactly,
Yeah.
everywhere, everywhere.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, we can do it, man. We can do it. So again, thank you guys for checking in. Ernesto, we love you, brother. Pastor Darren, Reggie, we miss you guys. We love you. Look forward
Alan.
to next week. Alan, love you, miss you, brother. Um, Alan might have been forced to cook today. He 1 week he came on doing dishes. The other week he cut his camera off because he was cooking, but then he would jump back on and give us some wisdom and then jump back off. I love that brother, man. We have a good time. We have a good time here on Brothers Like Us. So continue to support us, continue to come in and listen and share it with a friend. And we'll be back next week. So until next time, Randy, you had something else you wanted to say?
No, I want to say that we got to get together, man,
Absolutely.
in person. Do
Yeah,
something.
so let's make it happen, man. Let's
Go,
make it
go, go
happen.
to a restaurant or something like that
Absolutely.
with the
Absolutely.
wives. Chop it up.
Yeah, that's gonna be wonderful, man. We should try to do that in the next couple of weeks, man.
You know,
Absolutely.
well,
Yeah,
y'all
let's
guys
go.
know y'all guys know the restaurants. You, Ron, all
Yeah.
y'all
Oh
guys.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. So for all of y'all out there listening and joining us, thank you guys again. Thank you so much. Until the next time, don't just endure life, but embrace it and live it out loud. God bless y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Yes. God
Later.
bless.